Ooh. Sitting by the pond, Lyle tosses a small rock into the water, watching as the ripples make their way up over the edge, distorting his reflection. He's lost in thought, tail aimlessly brushing over the blades of grass beneath it.
My mother said not to throw rocks in the pond.
Lyle looks up at Adrius, the small deer hanging by his hands from a tree limb, just a short distance off the ground. Adrius had asked Lyle to come outside with them since his parents were meeting with Sir Runar. Runar!
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's baby Lyle.
It's baby Lyle. Baby teenager Lyle with baby Richter. Not Richter. Adrius.
Wait, so how old is Lyle again? He's like 20?
In the main story.
So here Adrius is like what, 4 or 5? So
We
he's
don't
probably
know
like
when
15
this
here.
is.
No, I'm like, well, just based on the sprites.
Yeah, I don't know if I know the timeline for the characters very cleanly. I'm sure it's established by now. It's just I didn't hash it out. Lyle says this in a way that that almost sounds like a question. Sorry?
She said you might hit a fish on the head.
Very funny.
I told her the fish swim way too fast to get hit, but she said just to not do it.
Adrius falls from the tree limb, landing on his hooves with a bit of a wobble.
Oh my god, look.
Oh my gosh, he's like a little bully.
Throw him out a window.
Yeah.
Brand him. we can fix the timeline.
Oh baby. I think she just doesn't want all the rocks ending up in the pond.
Makes sense to me.
Adrius turns around to look back up at the tree, and Lyle notices that the back of his shirt is covered in leaves.
Here, you've got leaves all over your back.
Ooh, Lyle. He gets up and bends down, brushing the leaves off of the soft fabric.
You sure love climbing trees, don't you? I won't get this up.
God damn it.
Yeah, but doesn't every kid my age?
I don't know how to adjust the gravelly thing.
I don't know what to make of this comment because I genuinely don't know if Adrius would have met a child as the prince in the castle. I don't know how he would know what kids are like, honestly.
I mean, he probably goes into the village or the kingdom a lot.
Not as much as you.
I'm just like, do you let the child prince play amongst other kids in public?
I suppose.
Adrius looks back up at the top of the tree, the sunlight shining down through the openings, casting spotted shadows on the two of them. Birds chirp in the deep parts of the branches, the noise ringing through the leaves and bouncing off the water below.
When I'm up there, I can see everything. Not just what's over the wall, but everything beyond the village, too. You should try it.
Lyle laughs and shrugs.
I've tried climbing before. Heights never agreed with me.
Well, then... I guess you won't be getting one of these then.
Adrius holds out his hands, showing off 2 ripe dragon apricots which he had knocked onto the ground from the tree. Lyle goes to reach for one quickly, but Adrius pulls them away.
Come and get them.
Adrius tries to break off into a sprint, almost tripping over himself. Before he can get far, Lyle's already standing into a lunge, snatching an apricot from Adrius's hand.
Hey!
You said for me to get it.
Lyle says this while gesticulating with his head in Adrius's direction, plucking the torn stem off of the fruit. Adrius sighs and sits down in front of the pond.
Why would beat this child's ass in Super Smash and not feel sorry for it?
Just obliterate him.
Next time, I'm not getting you one if you're not going to play.
That's okay. Soon I'll be tall enough to reach them from the ground.
Lyle steps back near the tree, leaning against it while taking a sloppy bite from the fruit. The juice bursts from the opening in the skin, coating his lips in orange liquid.
Just how tall are you gonna get?
Lyle thinks for a moment before answering, drumming his fingers on the skin of the fruit.
12 feet.
Blithe height.
200 and... Oh, sorry.
210 what?
I assume centimeters? Wow.
That's how tall my father is. I'll probably be around his height.
Adrius lays back on the grass, looking up at the sky.
One day, I'll be as tall as my father.
Nope.
I'm sure you will. You're already well on your way to looking like him.
You're a deer and everything. Adrius tilts his body to look at Lyle, who gestures with his hand to the top of his own head between his ears.
Oh yeah!
Adrius touches the tips of his small horns, rubbing them carefully.
Mother says they actually came in very early. Nobody expected them for another year or two. I do remember specifically that Leaf is Adrius's specific, doctor, now that I think about it.
anyone around, or anyone that's nice to Raynar basically immediately is immediately put in a high position of power and
no. There's scenes where it was just them two specifically. Yeah. I'm just like, I wonder. I don't know.
Lyle smiles, watching as Adrius neatly brushes the fur around his horns down with his hand. He remembers how he felt the exact same way when his mane started to come in.
By the time your parents and I are back, I wager they'll be twice as tall.
Lyle expects another excited bout of boasting. Yeah, this is when the mom dies.
This is before the mom dies. So, we just have child soldiers.
Yeah. This little Lyle.
Well, wasn't there a term for it? Is it a squire?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Lyle expects another excited bout of boasting from Adrius, but instead is met with silence. Then he watches as the small deer's face twist into a frown, his lower lip quivering.
Hey, wait, I'm sorry. What's wrong? Is this something I said?
Adrius exhales through his nose and sits up, looking behind him where Lyle stands.
No, you didn't do anything. I'm scared of Mother and Father going to Driz.
He scoots his legs closer to himself, hugging them as he does.
Don't even worry about it, Adrius. They won't be gone long. It's a little bit scary, I know, but you'll be fine.
I know that'll be fine. But what if they aren't?
Lyle's hands drop down to his sides, the fruit still cradled in his palm.
What do you mean?
Adrius takes a deep breath and starts talking in a fast manner.
So, 2 weeks ago, Mother took me to Auntie Charlotte's to play with Jean. We had lots of cake and it was all really good. Anyway, Auntie Charlotte was talking with Mother about some things, and at one point, Mother sent us away. We hid and listened, though.
Adrius.
I know. Just listen. Auntie Charlotte was telling her about how she heard from your friend Eden's father that he was almost attacked on the road to Driz.
What?
Lyle drops his fruit on the ground but doesn't get the chance to mourn the loss of his treat.
Is he okay?
I said he was almost attacked.
How do you do that?
By what?
Robbers. They tried to catch him in Canyon South, They tried to catch him in canyons south of Home's End, but he managed to escape them. That's the northern run. That's the road you'll be taking.
Nobody's going to steal from us.
I'm not an idiot, Lyle. They do more than just steal.
Lyle can tell how afraid Adrius is from his voice alone, the way it shakes with each word.
Adrius, a couple of bandits aren't going to be a threat to us at all. They wouldn't dare attack the king's own entourage. Hundreds of armed men will be guarding your parents, but if you ask me, a good 10 would do. Hundreds?
Hundreds,
The
plural.
bandits got through hundreds.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. I know they probably ambushed them during like a straightaway or whatever where they're going single file or something, but I'm like, what? First of all, marching on Driz with hundreds of men sounds like an invasion.
Yeah.
Like, Driz has to feed all those people when you arrive. I don't think I don't think they're gonna love that. Lyle turns back against the tree, lightly scratching his claws into the bark. Also that I just didn't get the sense that there was hundreds of people in this town to begin with.
Fear is a self-fulfilling prophecy, Adrius.
What? No, fear doesn't make the thing happen. You can't manifest bandits.
Shouldn't have to worry about a thing like that.
But the way Charlotte described it,
With her web.
I wish I could come too.
So I could die. Lyle scuffs the heels of his feet against the grass, looking up at the branches of the tree.
So do I. But that's not my place.
The air grows silent, and before Lyle can let things get too quiet for the little deer, he tries to assure him.
Lord Bryn wants to use this as a learning opportunity for me. I'll make sure your parents' carriage doesn't so much as hit a bump in the road.
You mean it?
Adrius whips around, hands placed firmly on the grass beneath where he sits.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know why Adrius would think of Lyle as a prodigy when his formative memory of Lyle is him failing to save his mom after promising him that he would.
You promise?
I definitely just assume that there is a ton of scenes that are never talked about at all. Like, just the fact that he's here at all with Adrius implies, like, something special about Lyle. And in some way, he is more intelligent, more cool, more whatever than the other boys and girls.
Because just the main characters are always just super cool in the story.
Yeah.
Lyle walks over to him and sits down, resting his palm on the small deer's back.
I promise.
Adrius leans into him, his head resting against Lyle's side.
It makes me feel better. You're a prodigy when it comes to using a sword.
There we go.
I watch you duel in the courtyard all the time from my chamber window.
All the time?
Mm-hmm.
So he's just ambiguously good with a weapon, even though he fails in every conflict in the story. Adrius nods.
I don't know. Anime loves its kendo. They always like fighting with fake swords.
I just don't know what to make of that. I'm just like he's defined by every bloody conflict he's in, where he's functionally on the losing side, or his side suffers great losses, and he doesn't ever like shine. So I'm just like, it's strange characterization there. Adrius nods his head, poking one of his horns into the side of Lyle's arm. Lyle gulps, thinking back to the time he snuck Eden into the courtyard with him to teach him the different forms he'd learned. One would hope Adrius didn't see that. In
Okay,
bed.
well.
He coughs into his fist, leaning back a bit.
I'm certain everything is going to go as smooth as butter.
Thank you.
They sit there for a moment, and Adrius already decides to jump to another topic.
Do you want to go to Auntie Charlotte's with me later? She promised me lemon cakes last time I saw her.
Give me.
Yeah, right.
Lyle shifted in his seated position after hearing this. Lemon cakes sound great right now, but he already has a prior engagement.
Sorry, little guy, but I'm going to see Edon later.
Ooh.
Maybe next time. Yeah, that's definitely the implication here.
I'm gonna get my lemon cakes.
Oh.
And if I'm just to continue to grammar Nazi, he said shifted, which is past tense in the current present tense story. Lyle stands up from the ground, wiping the grass and dirt from the seat of his trousers. Adrius shifts in his rested position, and turns towards the entrance to the garden.
Mother!
Lyle's having an affair. Adrius gets to his knees and rises from the ground, wiping the grass and dirt from his legs. Lyle turns around to see Queen Elena, followed by a few handmaidens. She turns and stops them at the entrance, letting them know with a simple hand gesture that she doesn't need to be followed. Hello, sweetie. I see you're having fun.
Yep.
Hello, sweetie just makes me think of Doctor Who with the River Song. This is meaningless to both of you, probably.
Yep.
The little deer gallops up to her, and she takes him in her arms, patting his head with her hand. She looks at Lyle, who gives a small bow in her direction while grinning. She smiles back at him, with that smile so warm it could melt ice. That's a little too warm. It's a hot smile. Burning smile. Hello, Lyle. I'm glad I was able to find you out here. I figured I would wait until I knew if you weren't out of here before sending a servant to fetch you. Lyle scratches the back of his ear shyly and gives a sheepish grin.
Is there anything I can help?
Got this for you.
Atreus holds up the fruit in his hand, reaching as high as he can. Lyle has wondered why Atreus wasn't eating it. Elena smiles down at him and takes the fruit. Perfectly ripe. You're so thoughtful. Thank you, sweetie. She leans down, kissing the top of his head. Adrius, why don't you go and play by the berry bushes for a while? I need to speak with Lyle for a moment. Adrius takes a moment to respond, but eventually agrees.
Sure.
He rushes off towards the bushes and sits down in front of them, probably looking for bugs. He shakes his attention away from the boy. Lyle shakes his attention away from the boy and turns back to Elena, who looks as if she's excited to tell him something. Raynar and I spoke with Sir Runar about certain things that need to be looked after while we're gone. However, we also brought up Lord Bryn's proposal with Sir Runar.
You did?
Yes, and I am happy to tell you he thinks it's a great idea. Lyle claps his hand together firmly, almost jumping for joy.
So when I get there...
For a few days, you should be getting special training from the leader of Drizz's palace guard, Captain Drazen, who you'll hear about in the next game, I'm sure.
Oh god, this is a dream come true. He's the greatest spearman in all of Driz.
Not the weapon I use.
They say you could throw a spear over 30 meters and still never miss his target. I wonder if I can beat him in a duel.
Not if he has a spear. Lyle places his paw over his muzzle, shutting himself up. Elena simply laughs, shaking her head while tossing the fruit Atreus gave her between her hands. She doesn't seem to mind Lyle gushing about his hero. Yes, he certainly has a reputation. But you'll do well to remember that you won't just be playing with swords the whole time. He's going to teach you other things. I know you hope to be a knight one day, but you'll benefit from paying attention to his lessons. Lyle places his paws behind his back and looks down sheepishly.
I know. I understand.
He looks back up at her, practically beaming.
Thank you so much.
Lyle steps forward and gives Elena a hug. She's surprised for a moment, but then easily returns the embrace, patting him on the back softly. You'll be killed for this.
Yeah, no, you are really chill with the royal family.
You're welcome, Lyle, but you should go and thank Sir Runar as soon as you can. I realize that an odd vector of the fact that Raynar confided in Richter in a way that he's supposedly never confided with anyone is that Lyle's right here and is weirdly chummy with everyone and knows a lot of this stuff anyway. Lyle pulls away from the hug and can barely contain his excitement. He assumed the entire trip would just be following Lord Bryn around wherever he went, helping him the whole time. But to be able to meet and train under Drazen Nova, original character, do not steal. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I believe he actually wanted to speak with you as soon as possible. I suggest you go find him.
Right.
Lyle quickly bows to Elena before running up the path, but he stops running and turns to Adrius.
Bye, Adrius.
Adrius has a blue butterfly on the top of his wrist and looks up, waving to Lyle.
Goodbye!
That wasn't especially a keep a secret from Adrius kind of conversation, honestly. I'm not sure why he was sent away, unless he's just annoying to talk around. Because it wasn't really like usually it's like a thing you're keeping from him when you do that. As Lyle walks through the archway leading back to the castle, he turns around and sees Elena sitting with an excited Adrius as the butterfly lands on his nose. I accidentally skip let's see, I'll sit for a second. Did I accidentally skip a thing where something's going to happen after a few seconds? Jump scare! Okay, it's been long enough. A? There's a second screen of black.
I heard a knock.
Was it a knock in the game or was it me pressing A?
I heard like a do-do.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Elena jumps in her sleep after hearing a knock at the door. Okay, that's what the cue is supposed to be. Raynar, sleeping like a rock, doesn't move one bit. She slides out of bed, her night robe flowing behind her as she walks to the door.
Mother?
Once she hears the voice of her son, she pulls the handle and opens the door for him. Sweetie, what's wrong? Can you not sleep? He stands in the doorway, and his little ears turned back.
I had a really bad dream.
The boy looks ready to burst into tears, but seems to be holding them back pretty well. Did you not tell the maid?
I told her I wanted to see you.
How did you sneak past the guards?
There's no sneaking around, Sir Bjorn. They let me up here.
It'd be foreshadowing if he did sneak past the guards
Way
into
more
this
formal
room.
with her own child than this wolf boy.
Yes.
I was gonna say, what guards? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean the guards?
How did my child get past the guards? Like, what?
You let my child in here while we were sleeping? Don't you know what he's going to do in the future?
He turns around to look at Raynar, who still hides under the covers, his antlers and ears poking out from the top of the blanket. Just blanket over face like a funeral cowl. Funeral shroud, that's what it's called. I think. He continues to sleep, snoring softly like he always does. Okay, come on in, but you have to be very quiet. Your father is sleeping and needs his rest for when we leave tomorrow.
Hello?
If you said it, it didn't come through, really.
Oh. Okay.
He whispers this, giving a tiny smile before quietly walking into the room. After closing the door, she takes his hand, and leads him to the sofa by the east window. Now, what was your dream about? Just recites exactly what happens tomorrow. She sits down on the sofa and Adrius hops onto her lap, resting his head against her.
It was a normal dream at first. A lot of weird things were happening. None of it made any sense. There was one part that scared me a lot, though. I was outside, playing in the garden. The grass in the garden was all yellow, though.
Dead grass?
No. Yellow, as if it was made of gold. All of the plants were like that, too. There was this anthill. It was in between two bricks on the path. I almost stepped on it, too, but stopped myself. Then I saw me.
What do you mean?
It was just me.
Adrius holds her hand tighter and Elena places her chin upon the top of his head.
He walked up to where the anthill was, holding a wooden pail, smiling at me in a creepy way. Inside of the bucket was fire, and he poured it into the anthill. The fire moved like water as it poured down the top entrance. When he did this, the ants crawled up my legs, biting me all over. I was so scared, but then he tossed the fire onto my legs. It didn't burn at all, but all of the ants died. Then he held out his hand to help me up. The entire time, all I could hear was loud drums and yelling.
Elena rubs his back with her hand, rocking him slightly as he leans into her.
When I took his hand, I woke up.
Adrius, it was just a bad dream. Nothing to be afraid
honestly,
of.
this is the kind of dream that, like, if I were a parent, I'd just kind of be like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck? I know, but I'm still scared. I don't want you to go to Driz.
After hearing this, Elena hugs him tightly. Oh, sweetie.
Why can't I come with you?
He says with his face pressed into her body, his voice muffled by her robe. Adrius, it's as we said before. You must stay because an Ossian must always look after the throne. She pulls him away and rests her hand on his shoulders. Aren't you excited about that?
No.
You get to do a coup. You'll be looking after the entire kingdom. You can sit on the throne and take care of everything.
It sounds hard.
Oh, believe me, it is. Your grandfather will be helping you, though. That will make things much easier. She pokes his nose while saying this, making him giggle softly. You're going to be a wonderful king one day. This will be a fun test for you.
Like a learning experience?
Exactly. They sit there for a moment longer before Adrius breaks the silence, wiping his eyes.
Can you sing to me like you used to?
Nope. Ellen looks over at Raynar, who still lies still. Don't write that sentence. Who still lies still on the bed, his soft snores a quiet ambience for the conversation.
Quietly.
All right. But then you're going right back to bed, little prince. He eagerly nods, then rests on her. Elena intones a small tune to test her vocals before humming a song. It would have been so funny if it was just like the Song of Storms from Majora's Mask. Just really lean into the storm motif. Adrius bounds down the corridor, his small hooves clomping against the smooth stone flooring. I'm not totally sure what the purpose is of these scenes. It's a lot of time spent doing this at this specific time.
Yeah.
The prince skids to a stop at one of the windows and brings himself up with his arms to look over the... Whoa, the balustrade. There, just over the horizon, he can see carts, wagons, and carriages slowly rolling over the hills of the northern run. He drops down from his lifted position and continues to bolt down the hallway, almost running into a servant carrying a box.
Sorry, haha!
He twists around while running to apologize, the servant shaking their head in bemusement. As he runs, he keeps his focus on the carriages, watching as they draw closer. The beams and pillars on the balcony pass by in a blur as he continues to sprint. Then he stops. If it wasn't for his useful agility, he would have surely fell over, coming to a stop so sudden. Fallen over, I think? His eyes stay focused on the caravan and he walks up to the balustrade once more. I'm learning words today. This time he stands on the base, planting his hooves on the small slab of stone near the bottom. There's not as many wagons now. Some of them are carrying goods that need to be traded, so of course, this was inevitable. Still, Adrius knew these wagons should have come back, empty or not. Surely there should be more in the entourage. He knows there should be more. Then he notices the soldiers. It's hard to distinguish them from the squires and stable boys as both trudge alongside the carts. Some of them look dreadfully tired, while others ride in the carts, their heads down. Adrius can even see what looks to be injured men. Some laying on the floors of wagons, others being helped along by their fellow men, arms around each other's shoulders. Adrius starts to feel a lump forming in his throat, but the fear instead settles in his stomach. It churns and twists inside of him as his eyes dance over each cluster of men. Some of the carts they're being carried in look new, not made from the same wood as the ones from around Lyre. Ginny rounds the corner, slowly walking down the hall. Adrius bites his cheek when he sees the last wagon roll over the hillside, not followed by any others. Doing another scan, Adrius realizes that among all these things, one thing stands out to him the most. Come along, my prince. Your mother and father have returned. Yes. It's a question he wanted an answer to the moment he first looked out the window. A question that he'd been asking himself since he first laid eyes upon the entourage. Where is the royal carriage? Adrius drops from the support, landing on his hands and knees. My prince? He ignores her, rising in a sprint, almost tripping over himself. His breath is fast and his legs are unsteady as he darts down the corridor. All Ginny would be able to hear is the fast clopping of hooves against smooth stone flooring. Raynar stands outside the door to Adrius' chambers. His gloved hand rests limply on the antler-shaped handle of the door.
Adrius, please. You haven't left your room in days.
He speaks to the crack in the center of the door, his muzzle almost pressed against it. There's no response from the inside.
The servants tell me you haven't been eating. Your mother wouldn't want this.
Still no response.
So, you're going to do nothing?
Adrius stands in the doorway to his father's room, the king's expression turning into a frown. Is that adult Adrius' sprite on the corner?
I think so.
How long were they gone? Adrius stands in the doorway to his father's room, the king's expression turning into a frown.
This is right before I think Rifter comes in.
I
This
thought
is
it
like
was
years later after the murder.
I thought it was after it happened to the mom.
No.
That's
my
not-
assumption is more that this would be the first time he's finally talking to Adrius, but I guess I'm probably just jumping to
Yeah.
conclusions here.
God, this room's so green. We don't normally see it with light. That's not what I said.
And yet, it's what will happen anyway.
Adrius barges past him into the room, his father stepping back and letting him in, closing the door behind him with a thud. Oh, of course. You know, I'd really rather you question me in front of the entire court than whatever this is.
This? This is a private conversation where more can be said than what's spoken in front of the court. Or do you not like that?
Reynar's nose twitches and he walks over to the wine by the cupboard. What are your issues?
Ask Leaf. I'm sure he tells you everything.
Reynar's shoulders slump and he lets out a sigh. He finishes pouring 2 cups of red wine and turns to bring one to Adrius. Not those issues. Adrius, now sitting on the end of the bed, takes the cup and rests it in his lap, holding it with 2 hands.
My issue lies with the fact that you refuse to take any action. Here, we're in a time of peace, but it's not like that everywhere.
I did want to double check this. He has 4 prongs here in the side sprite, so one-horned Adrius does actually have a different silhouette sprite, which is funny. You think I don't know this? Adrius, I am doing everything in my power to solve the problems to our south. Driz has absolute control over the territory where the heart of the problem is. Until they can take action, my hands are tied. Adrius gestures with his hand toward the south.
Laws be damned. The problem is bleeding into our lands and causing the suffering of our people. With each day that passes, they grow stronger. That barren wasteland keeps spilling them onto our lands, and you want to sit there and say we're powerless?
Reynar lets out a sigh and pinches the bridge of his nose.
We need to fight back against this problem, with or without Drizz's permission.
I know that the small steps I take in order to solve these problems go unappreciated, but it's the only route we can take.
So you know the reason why then?
Adrius.
Drizz has no concern for the problems in the canyons. It doesn't affect their citizens nearly as much as ours. King Aaron sits on his throne daily and does nothing to help. And yet we are forbidden from causing conflict beyond our own borders.
King Aaron
Doesn't care.
Reynar looks as if he's going to start lecturing Adrius, but he holds back. They sit there in silence for a moment, but Adrius doesn't let the silence hang in the air for long.
Do you remember Mother's funeral?
Reynar breathes in deeply and exhales, closing his eyes. Like it was yesterday.
I remember everything all too vividly. It was about a week after her murder. All of the lords and ladies from all over Lyre traveled day and night to pay their respects and mourn. After that was the private burial. She wanted to be buried on the hill, just outside of our garden, so that's what we did.
What is the point of all this?
Every noble from Brayden's Vale to Grimrock came to pay respects to your wife. My mother. And yet not a single word was heard from King Aaron. He doesn't care. Mother's blood was spilt on his sands, and we haven't heard from your supposed friend since.
Enough.
You give this issue so little attention that it's safe to assume you don't care either. It's like you've given up.
Quiet.
You mourned her, but now you don't even like to talk about her. You're going to keep bottling this up, then eventually spill it on someone. You don't even speak of her around me, your son. You just hide in your castle while people meet the same fate as her.
Adrius's chest rises with each breath as he is now standing from his seat, wine glass slammed on the end table. Raynar just stands there silently. His face has traces of anger, which slowly fade away, almost going unnoticed by Adrius.
Well?
Still no response from Raynar, his head lowered. Adrius makes his way to the door and goes to turn the knob, angry tears forming at the corners of his eyes. Why did you kill me? Adrius stops turning the knob, a chill running up his spine, bristling the fur on the back of his neck. He turns around to stare at his father, eyes wide open with a confused expression plastered on his face.
What?
It was here, in this very room. You killed your own father, Capital.
Father, what are you talking about? Is this some sort of cruel joke?
Raynar doesn't answer, which causes Adrius to become even more confused. You've lost Lyle as well. This statement hits Adrius a little harder.
I didn't lose him.
You've paved the road ahead. You'll never be able to go back. Tears now stream down Adrius's face as Raynar stands there like a statue, spouting off these cryptic messages. Adrius, I loved you more than life itself. You don't even know what you're running from anymore. Whoa!
Oh, look, you're right. Look at the sprite.
Yep. And the nipple in the sprite. That looks like an ear or something. What does that mean? Aren't we currently, Richter, experiencing things via the eye? Did we watch Adrius's dream? Weird. It's a classic thing to have a thing that you think is a memory, but it actually turns out to be a dream. And then it's like, instead of being a memory, it's a dream. So they start commenting on things that they shouldn't have been able to comment on because they're actually dream versions of the memory. But the intro of this whole sequence was, whoa, we're bouncing the ground, can't tell memories, can't tell visions apart from reality. I'm trapped in the man's eye. And we didn't know why Richter was there, because last we saw he was just riding off with Lyle. So we don't know why he seemingly fell into a coma for maybe days or weeks, where he's doing visions now with no preamble. But this is still the same sequence, so it's weird that it was Adrius's dream, unless he can do that too, which seems unhelpful on some level to experience.
I'm reading
fake memories.
The intro text. I'm reading the script right now. It's specifically like, I lay on a bed of fur, my limbs aching, a stinging pain flowing over my back, a cold breeze. It's Richter. So we did just at some point we've combined with Adrius's dreams, and now we've switched perspectives. But we were doing Richter, but at the same time, we both know that Richter isn't going to talk about any of the things that he sees in his vision or acknowledge that he saw any of this. So yeah, just entirely for the viewers' edification.
It's confusing that it became Adrius's dream. I'm like, what? That's exactly not what the chapter was about. Exactly. You can have this scene, but you'd have to be doing, I don't know when it became Adrius's perspective separately. Anyway, I guess it's 10 p.m. for you guys. We probably should stop.
How much we probably have one more session, because this is when I look at Blythe Louise's video, it's like the last video is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, and we're about 45 minutes into that.
Got it. Yeah, we should probably let Jericho go to bed then and meet up again later.
I would if I could.
Yeah, I would keep going, but I'm on the Pacific coast.
And Adrius has early job time.
It's only 7 for me. But I would like to go, although I'm kind of game for going and getting dinner.
The way that Adrius gets every single banger CG,
they're great. All Adrius. Every
look at him. Almost, he looks so good here.
Full on, most of the CGs are Adrius, I think. You can definitely see Atmec's art progress over the course of the game too, which always happens. I think back to like how by the time you get used to how Amicus looks near the end of Ad Astra, and then you go back to and replay it, that first CG of him looking out the window, you're like, oh, this is like off model by comparison. Like it's a similar thing of like, it's the webcomic effect. You just make yourself draw a lot for a structured project, and you get a lot of chance to practice. It's great. Look at that eye. I can't do face expressions. They're fucking hard.
This is God. He's got really good attention to detail for the art.
Yeah,
the subtle detail of the deer teeth.
Like, well, even I didn't even notice until you pointed out like he's got one horn in this, or one antler in this sprite.
Yeah, his silhouette actually reduces to one horn once he loses one. Got the necklace. Got the little depth of the scar on his nose.
This is also kind of the only CG that really clues me into like, oh, he's an adult, because I definitely thought he was like 14 through like the most of my first read through.
Yeah, he does look a little different.
Hairs.
He kind of looks the oldest here. Yeah. See what makes him go thump in the night. All right. Well, see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me.